Hi everybody and welcome to another grammar class. This is Rodrigo from Learn English Fast, and in the past 2 weeks some Cambridge students asked me to talk about a very tricky grammar topic belonging to C2 level of English, which is an applied linguistics topic known as Paronomasia, which is also known as pun. But before we start our lesson, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to my channel, so just click on the button below. Don't forget to rate this video so that this channel can grow fast, alright? Now, let's start with the definition of Paronomasia. It's basically a rhetorical device that can be defined as a phrase intentionally used to exploit the confusion between words having similar sounds but different meanings. It's like a wordplay and is also known as a pun. We learned that in Applied Linguistics level C1 and C2 of the Common European Framework of Reference, alright? So, why do we need to use Paronomasia? Paronomasia gives thoughtful meanings to literary texts, aside from providing humorous and witty comments. And through Paronomasia, writers demonstrate the shrewdness of characters and their own ingenuity by playing with the words. Besides, in literary works, Paronomasia functions as a purposeful effort to provide a source of comic relief and also to show their artistic ability. And being a source of fun, Paronomasia is used in comedy theaters, and jokes give humorous meanings to perplexing stories, alright? But there are differences between puns and jokes. So while they share much in common, puns and jokes are not synonymous. The definition of pun is such that it necessitates wordplay. A joke may contain this type of wordplay, but there are many jokes that do not have any place on words. Also, some puns are not humorous and used for rhetorical rather than humorous effect. Today we are learning typographic pronomasia. And in this case, there are 5 different categories of pronomasia. And they're called homophonic, homographic, homonymic, compound, and recursive, alright? So, category number 1, homophonic. The use of words that sound the same but have different meanings, such as put out corruption's slag from every pore. And in this case, pore has the same sound as pour. Now, this type of pun uses homonyms, so words that sound the same but with different meanings. For example, the wedding was so emotional that even the cake was in tears, which is a homonym of tears. As we can see, to pun is to treat homonyms as synonyms, alright? Category number 2, homographic. So they are basically words that are spelled the same but have different meanings, such as David doesn't feel well today, and my uncle is digging a new well, as you can see in the picture, alright? Now, let's see an example from Simpsons. So, this type of pronomasia can be tricky to execute since homographs often need to be heard to understand the wordplay. For instance, in an episode of The Simpsons, Marge Simpson instructs Bart to run like the wind. Seems fine, right? Only problem is, Marge pronounced wind as wind, thereby confusing the words for blowing air and twisting around a spool. And when Lisa corrects her, Marge replies, "What? I've only read it in books." I'd also like to say that these puns are often written rather than spoken, as they briefly trick the reader into reading the wrong sound. For example, you can tune a guitar, but you can't tune a fish unless you play bass. In this case, tune a fish is a homophonic pun because it's a homonym for tune a. The word bass, though, functions as a homophonic pun in that the word bass, pronounced with a long A, refers to a type of instrument, while bass, pronounced with a short A, is a type of fish, as in sea bass. Category number 3, homonymic. These words include both homographs and homophones. A homonymic pun contains aspects of both the homophonic pun and the homographic pun. In this type of pun, the wordplay involves a word that's spelled and sounds the same, yet has different meanings. For example, 2 silkworms had a race and ended in a tie. A tie can, of course, either be when neither party wins, but in this pun also refers to a piece of clothing usually made from silk. Category number 4, compound. This contains 2 or more puns in a sentence. So here's a famous compound pun from English rhetorician Richard Whately. Why can a man never starve in the great desert? Because he can eat the sand which is there. But what brought the sandwiches there? Now, let's have a look at an example from the Bible. So, why Noah sent Ham and his descendants mustard and bread? So, there are some separate puns. Ham, a biblical figure, and ham, the food. And the homophonic puns on mustard, which means to meet, and mustard, a spice. And bread, which basically means to create, and bread, what we eat. Alright? Now, the last category, recursive. In this case, the second part of a pun depends upon the meaning of the first. So, a recursive pun is a 2-part pun. One needs to recognize or understand the first part of the pun in order for the second part to make sense. Alright? For example, the pun, "May the Fourth be with you," requires an understanding of the Star Wars movies and the phrase, "May the Force be with you," as well as the knowledge that May 4 is Star Wars Day. And now, what's a Freudian slip? So this type of pun requires understanding the first half of the joke to understand the second. For example, a Freudian slip is when you say one thing but mean your mother. The term Freudian slip was coined by the psychoanalyst Sigmund Freud to refer to a mistaken speaking where one word is replaced with another. Freud proposed that these mistakes hinted at unconscious or repressed desires, and he also had several theories about the relationship between children, especially boys, and their mothers. Therefore, this pun requires knowledge of Freud's theories and recognition that the pun itself is a Freudian slip, with the substitution of your mother for another. So, I hope you have enjoyed this class, and I'd like to thank you so much for being with me all this time. So, I'm going to ask again, subscribe to my channel, click on the button below, make sure you get all your friends to join us so you can get all my tips for international certificates such as Toefl, Cambridge and Ielts. So, see you guys. I hope to see you next time. Cheers. Bye for now.